Alright, and we're back with the wiring on this black Limba Strat. So what I did was I did a little bit more research. I fed our output jack, which we worked on yesterday to get this to fit. We've got our two wires hanging out, which are obviously going to have to be cut. Those are going to go into the two last two. Hopefully you guys can see this. I don't know if you guys can read that very well, but there's your for your output jack, and your pickups basically from your bridge all the way up to your neck work this way. So we're going to wire it this way. So according to Bill Lawrence's website, for humbucker, you're going to wrap these two together, the red and green. Your black is your ground, your white is your hot, and then this blue is an additional ground because these have a ring that goes around them. So I believe that's the ground for that ring. So that is going to go over to here to this little ground lug, which hopefully you guys can see. Right here is a little ground lug. So the other thing we have to do is we have to get this claw out from here, and we're gonna have to put a ground wire to the claw and feed that through here. There's a little hole right here by the bridge pickup, and then we're gonna feed that in there, solder this up. So even though this is a solderless kit, when you're building a guitar, you're still gonna have to do some soldering. So we're gonna go ahead and take care of that. And then first thing we're going to do is, I guess we'll show you this. So basically what you want to do is you want to take these wires, you want to twist it, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a tie strap and strap these all up. So let's get these out of the way. I guess we'll just work our way from left to right here. I'll put this here where you guys can see it. So you'd set it like this. So one is working from left to right. So of this output ground, we want to leave a little bit, but I think that's a little bit too much. We want to leave enough where when we pull this out, we can actually lay this thing out. So we don't necessarily need it to lay out all the way over here. So we're probably going to cut these right about there. And I'm using Klein tools. I've had this thing for probably 20 years. I highly recommend these. Yeah, right about there should be good enough. So you don't need to strip these. So basically all you do, let me put it in front of this yellow thing so maybe you can see, you just hold it and then you just push this back till you've exposed the right amount. So it tells you in here also how long to strip your wires. So you're going to leave about 1/4 of an inch or 6 millimeters. So if you need to measure that with a ruler, get a ruler. If you don't, you can kind of eyeball it. We're going to do these after we do all this. I just wanted to get those prepped. We're going to want to use a nice flat tip, about the same size as, okay. All right, and also if you go to their website, they have excellent pictures. It actually shows you how to push the thing down and where to put the wires. Let me see if they even have it in this book. I do not see it. I will put a link down below. Here we go. So they have this on their website, and I showed this in my other video where I installed this, but the website, obviously the pictures are a lot bigger, a lot easier to see, so it shows you exactly how to do it. And then you've got your wiring diagram here. So let's start. I'm just going to wrap these together just to get all these wires prepared. Wrap all these because some of these went a little bit crazy. So you want to make sure you wrap them all in the same direction, make them nice and tight. You don't want to have stray wires. So on number 3, we're going to go with a net ground, which is the black. So all you're going to do, make sure that's nice and twisted. You're going to push down, count 1, 2, 3, and I grabbed the wrong screwdriver. Let's use the right one instead of a Torx. You push this down. Let me try and do it this way so you guys can see better. So once again, net ground, you stick the wire in, you release this, and you pull on the wire, just tug on the wire a little bit. Make sure it's good. Make sure you don't shove the insulation all the way down in there. So you want the insulation to be where you can just see the edge of the wire. Okay, then on number 4, we're going to go to the neck hot, which we know the hot is white. So once again, we just push on this. Slide that in there. Release, give it a good tug. Okay. So next is the middle ground. Now the middle is a little different. This is a stacked pickup for noise canceling. So obviously our ground on this is going to be black. And just like our other pickup, that blue is an additional ground. So we're going to take this, same thing again, push this down with your flat tip. And these are, I'll put links to these below. These are Craftsman. Okay, give that a little tug. So next is going to be the middle hot. Now the rest of these, you can just twist them together like how these are. And what you want to do is you're going to either put electrical tape over it or put a end cap. So I'm going to decide later what I'm going to do with this, but that's basically the wiring for this. So you want to take your flat tip again. We'll just go ahead and put the grounds in here already. So you're just going to loosen this up. Move this out of the way. And we're going to take all of our blue wires and just take all 3 of them, get them together, put the insulation at almost exactly the same point, and then we're just going to twist them together. And then I guess we're going from this side to keep it a little bit cleaner. I think that should be out enough. There we go. And then all I do is lightly clamp this down, and then we'll add our bridge claw to this after. All right, so I'm gonna tidy this thing up, clean it up, put some tie straps in there, make it look nice and neat, and so it'll fit right inside here, and then we will continue on. All right, we're back. We've got the drill out again. Output jack is off. What happened is I went to feed the claw ground wire, and there is this tiniest little, let me move this drill. I don't even know if you guys can make that out. It's so small. There's the tiniest little slit right down here that I'm supposed to feed the wire through, and the wire does not fit. So we're going to drill that out, make it just a little bit bigger, and then we'll probably install the claw since we're already here with the drill bit. All right, so as you can see, I paid attention to what's on the other side. So when I drill this through, it goes right in the middle of there, so it's going to go right in that channel. Now let's see if our wire fits. Here it is. All right, and we have success. Okay, since we've got the drill out, we're going to take our claw. We've put it in here. Let me move this out of the way. We'll see if we can get you guys a little bit better view. So we want to get that as centered as possible. Let me get my glasses on so I can make sure it's centered. And then we're just going to drill our pilot holes for the screws. All right, so we want to put our ground wire onto our claw. So what we're doing is we're taking our Dremel, we're taking this same bit that we used earlier, and all you're going to do is just take some of this finish off. That's pretty much all there is to it. We'll go ahead and get our soldering iron plugged in. Okay, our soldering iron is hot. So what we want to do is we want to add a little, notice I put a piece of cardboard under here. I don't want to melt this into my work surface. So I took the Dremel and did that spot. Now we're going to put a little bit of solder on here, 1 drop of flux on here, heat this up, and go ahead and melt a little ball of solder onto this. Okay, we might have to turn the soldering iron up for this. Okay, there we go. So we've got a little ball of solder on there. Hopefully you guys can see that. And then all you're going to do is heat that up again. Go ahead and stick your wire in there. All right, let it cool off by itself naturally. Don't blow on the solder, please. And then that's it. So we're going to feed this back through and then hook this up to our wiring harness. Okay, so we're back. Our electronics are all cleaned up. If I didn't show you that already. Our output jack ready to go in. We've got our ground wire from the bridge claw. Bridge claw is installed, ready to go. The next thing before we put these electronics in is we need to install our bridge. And that comes to problem number 672. Actually, we'll do 671 first. There is no hole drilled in here for our bridge ground. Now we can use the claw ground because everything is connected, but I prefer to have one to the bridge, so we're gonna have to drill that. The other problem is this obviously was designed, it looks like, for an import Floyd Rose style. These do not fit in here. They will not fit. If I pound them in, all it's going to do is crack the wood. So we're going to have to drill these much deeper and also much wider. So we're going to take care of that next.